Isn't it nice just to get away from it all?
It certainly is, dear.
What time is it?
It's Baggy Hi-Fi time! Bonjour cats and kittens, welcome once again to Baggy Hi-Fi, this YouTube channel devoted to record collecting and the vinyl community here in the UK. And I say bonjour because that introduction to this latest Baggy Hi-Fi video was filmed in France. Yes, I was there about a month ago, and it's probably over a month now since I last made a Baggy Hi-Fi video. Been quite busy and also just getting around to it really. I've bought quite a lot of records, so this latest video is part one of recent finds, the summer stash or the summer haul. These first bunch of records I'm going to show are of 60s music, not necessarily 60s originals, though some of them are, but definitely music from that decade. So the first one, volume 1 of Last of the Garage Punk Unknowns. Been known to show quite a lot of garage rock, American garage rock on this channel, and I've never bought any volumes in this series put out by the excellent Crypt label, who put out the Back from the Grave collections, and also what else as well, I can't remember at the moment, but yeah, this is very nicely done. Gatefold sleeve, collecting obscure American mid-60s to late 60s garage rock, recorded in response to the British invasion mainly, so you get quite a lot of sort of Stones sound-alikes, except much more raw, much more primeval. So I put this on one morning when I was feeling a bit low, and just listening to this very basic, exciting music just lifted me, and I just thought it was so life-affirming, this music, this kind of music. So volume 1, definitely be looking out for more volumes in this series. I'll just show you the label. Quite a bit of info on the liner notes as well. So there it is, the Crypt label. Last of the Garage Punks Unknown, volume 1. I'll be doing a needle drop from this one in this video. Now, I was quite pleased in my local record shop, which is more of a music shop really. It does musical instruments and things, but does have a growing vinyl section just very near to where I live, to see a copy of this, Electric Prune's second album, Underground. Now, this is not a 60s original, but this is a 70s pressing on Warner, on Reprise, that is, division of Warner, I guess. But yeah, I think this is the first Electric Prune's record, apart from compilations, that I've had on vinyl, and it's a good one. Standout tracks on here, Dr. Do-Good, The Great Banana Hoax, and I'll probably do a needle drop of Long Day's Flight, the last track on this album. In the same shop they did have a copy of their first album, but it did have a scratch on it, so again it was a 70s pressing, but this one plays very, very well. Hasn't really been played very much. So classic sort of garage psych-pop from the USA from 1967, I think. Now the next one is from a shop that I hadn't seen before. I was on a day off from work on the coast, on the northeast coast here in England, at Whitley Bay, and came across a new record shop, and I walked in and said, "How long have you been here?" And he said, "Since about Christmas." Really good shop. This is all I bought though that day, and it's a compilation, well, it's a soundtrack album I should say, called The Swingin' Set, 60s original on MGM from 1965. Really what caught my eye was that the Animals were on here, and also the Standells, one of my favourite garage punk, garage pop bands of that time. So it's a soundtrack to a film which I'd never heard of before. Doesn't sound a particularly amazing film. It's about the the music business. The swinging, I'll read the liner notes. The swinging set is a bright, hip, tuneful MGM motion picture about today's music business. Now the Dave Clark 5 are on here as well, but there's some real, it's an odd mixture because Stan Getz is on here. Astrid Gilberto, the girl from Ipanema, is on here. Mary Ann Mobley, who I don't know who she was, but she sounds like a real sort of average girl singer of the time. But the standout tracks are the 2 tracks by the Standells, and if I could go back in a time machine and I was organising a shindig somewhere, I would have definitely booked the Standells to get that party rocking, possibly along with Shadows of Night perhaps, and Question Mark and the Mysterians. So really it's not a fantastic record. Odd mixture. Jimmy Smith is on here, the jazz organist as well. So MGM label, good condition original, nice sleeve, but only some tracks really were enjoyable. And there's a sticker on there, so it was the original sticker, 32 shillings. So the last album I'm going to show in this American section of 60s recent finds, bit of Nancy Sinatra, greatest hits. I've got quite a few Nancy Sinatra albums. This one collects, can't go wrong really with Nancy. These Boots Are Made for Walking, of course, Some Velvet Morning, Something Stupid, Jackson, Summer Wine, You Only Live Twice, Lightning's Girl. So it's a mixture of these Lee Hazelwood's kind of stranger bits and pieces that she recorded with him, and more mainstream music, but lovely voice, classic records really, sound fantastic. I didn't mention that Nancy Sinatra in that previous record, that Swingin' Set soundtrack, Nancy Sinatra was in that film too. So it's time for a couple of needle drops. Next in the summer haul of 60s records, I'm going to show some British records. Now this one I've never seen before. It is a compilation on the DRAM label, and we all love to see that DRAM label, don't we? And it's I'm wondering whether it was perhaps one that was intended for the European market. I'm just guessing, but I've never seen this one. It's called Golden Pops, a collection of DRAM artists, including the Moody Blues, the Amen Corner, Procol Harum, The Move, the Johnny Howard Orchestra, and also oddities like I Was Kaiser Bill's Batman by Whistling Jack Smith. So I definitely, when I saw this one, I thought I'd better pick this one up, even though I have quite a few of the tracks already. There's the label, the red DRAM label, and what's interesting, the person who previously owned this, and it is in very good condition, has noted on the inner sleeve when he was playing these records, whether he played side 1 or side 2. So it says -1 if he hadn't played side 1. So the 10th of February 1973, he did play side 2, but didn't play side 1. So there, I don't know if you can see, nice little touch there of from the previous owner, or some owner back down the line in the 1970s. So that's Golden Pops, compilation I'd never seen before on the DRAM label. Now another label I love, a label that I've spoken about quite a lot in the Baggy Hi-Fi videos, and that's the Bam Caruso label. Flourished really in the late 80s, early 90s, reissuing a lot of psychedelia and British pop. Compilation on Bam Caruso of John's Children. Now the shop I mentioned just a few moments ago, where is just around the corner from me, the one that sells the musical instruments and now has a growing vinyl section. They had quite a lot of Mark Bolan albums for sale, and T-Rex, so I must go back and pick some of those up before they disappear. But I thought I'd grab this one because it was in such fantastic condition. So it's a compilation of John's Children. Now, as you probably know, Mark Bolan was in John's Children, but not for very long. He was only on about 2 singles, I think, at the very most. So there he is. There's the young Mark Bolan. And the line notes are very, very interesting on this. They're very detailed, as is the want of Bam Caruso releases. So interesting history of this band. Suffered lots of lineup changes. They never really made it big, but they were managed at one point by Simon Napier Bell, and I think it was the manager of the Yardbirds, and he was manager of the young Mark Bolan. Pre-T-Rex, of course, a pre-Tyrannosaurus Rex. And so Simon Napier Bell offered the young Mark Bolan to either be the lead singer in the Yardbirds or John's Children. And I think that apparently Mark thought it would be a better bet to go for John's Children, because the Yardbirds are quite established and he wouldn't really be able to dominate them very much. But the relationship didn't last very long. But nevertheless, this is a good, strong compilation of their music, sort of a slightly sort of mod and psych tinged. Smashed Blocked is a good one. Go Go Girl. I think Go Go Girl is a Mark Bolan song, but with different lyrics. I think it became Mustang Ford for Tyrannosaurus Rex. So yeah, I've been playing this a bit. It wasn't that familiar with John's Children, but interesting part of Bolan's history, and also an interesting band from the 66, 67, John's Children. Now this next one is a piece of VCLT, so very many thanks to Marianne and Billy for giving me this record, an original on Decca. And the beginning of this video featured Marianne and Billy in France. And it's the first album by the Moody Blues, the magnificent Moodies. And this is when Denny Lane was in them. And Go Now, you know, the hit, I'm sure you know, is on here. This is before they became sort of a proto-prog, mellifluous, ethereal tunesmiths. This is solid rhythm and blues, 1965, I think. Yeah, but there are some touches of flute and things on here, so signs of things to come with the Moody Blues, but definitely a rhythm and blues album in mono on the Burgundy Decca label. Very, very nice. So thank you to Marianne and Billy for this VCLT. Now VCLT is usually sent from someone who's in the vinyl community. Billy has been promising for a while to start making VC videos, so this is an encouragement to you, Billy, to start. But thank you again for this record. Now in the last sort of 6 weeks or so since I last made a big Baggy Hi-Fi video, I've been listening to quite a lot of Bowie, an artist that is always rewarding when you return to him after several years. I've always loved Bowie's 60s output. Was very unsuccessful at the time, and he didn't really have any success until really Space Oddity in '69. But this is a sort of mini LP of the singles that flopped. So it's David Bowie, 1966, and as I say, these records weren't hits at the time, but they've since have become highly regarded, and rightly so, because you can see the Bowie magic is in here. These are fairly sort of mod, danceable R&B kind of tunes, but some quirky lyrics in here as well. I Dig Everything is a highlight. I'm Not Losing Sleep, very good. And I like this sort of matte texture sleeve and that nice picture of the very youthful David Jones, David Bowie. So I think this was a record stay release from a few years ago, but still fairly available. The last video I did make was on Toy Town Psychedelia, and a few people commented on the track I put on Needle Drop at the end of that video by the Alan Bown, song called Toyland, which is definitely a Toy Town psych tune. So I was really pleased to track down a copy of their first album, the Alan Bown, from 1967. This is a reissue from the 1990s on the 10th Planet label, which was a short-lived reissue label that put out some excellent compilations and reissues of 60s obscurities. So the Alan Bown featured Jess Roden, lead vocalist, and this is a lovely mixture of sort of mid-60s mod music with horns, but also definitely some Toy Town psychedelic flourishes along here. The track Toyland, which I played in my last video, is on here. Some groovy tracks like Magic Handkerchief, Storybook, Violin Shop, and Technicolor Dream. It's on quite heavy vinyl for the 90s, and sort of almost like a Vertigo, not a spiral really, but similar. But the 10th Planet label, look out for that if you like this kind of music. Look on Discogs and various places and you'll find them. So it's a very, very strong psych-pop mod album from 1967, the Alan Bown, Outward Bound. Now this next record I've seen quite a lot shown recently on the VC, and it was a record store release. I'm not really one for going out and buying record store releases, but went into a shop in Newcastle upon Tyne and said, do you still have the Kinks EP that came out, the Waterloo Sunset EP, and they had one copy left, so I thought I'll have to grab it. This was originally a EP, French EP, featuring these tracks. Mr. Pleasant is fantastic, Holiday in Waikiki, so really some brilliant Kinks tunes on here. It's on coloured vinyl as well. There's a reproduction of the Pie label. It's on yellow vinyl. Yeah, look at that contrast between the purpley Pie label and that yellow wax. So that was the June Record Store Day drop. Nice that it's in mono, 45 RPM. Finally, I have shown some Manfred Mann, 60s Manfred Mann in previous videos, and most of it was the Paul Jones era, which was much more bluesy. But my favourite era of the Manfred Mann group in the 60s was when Mike Darbo joined, and I just love that run of singles, lots of Mellotron on them, very sort of psych-pop, just up my street. And so I found this compilation, not very nice sleeve, but it does contain the songs that I was after. For example, Ha Ha Said the Clown, My Name is Jack, Semi-Detached Suburban Mr. James, Up the Junction. Can't go wrong with this one either. So I've been playing this one a lot because, yeah, that Mike Darbo period produced some fantastic singles. The Mighty Quinn is on here as well, of course, which was about the biggest hit at the time on the lovely Philips label. So that's a run through of the 60s records I've been buying recently. Part 2 of this summer haul will be 70s up to the present day. So I hope to make that video quite soon and hope to see you quite soon. So thank you for watching. Bye for now.
It's the moment, yes, because you're the